What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College men's basketball. Michigan State Spartans versus Minnesota Gophers. Michigan State has a 78.3% chance to win, and Minnesota has a 21.7% chance to win. This is at Minnesota. So Michigan State's 10 nation, 19-3 record. Minnesota is unranked, 10-12 record. I don't know why the spread is only 7.5. You would think it would be higher, but whatever. So for stats, Michigan State has more points per game. Minnesota has more points against. Michigan State has a slightly higher field goal percentage and has more rebounds per game, slightly more assists per game, more blocks per game, and Minnesota has more steals per game. So these stats are actually pretty close. Surprisingly, given the losing record for Minnesota and Michigan State being top 10, like that's actually surprising. The stats were close. So I'm gonna say home field advantage be a big thing here. So I actually think Minnesota is gonna get the upset and beat Michigan State tomorrow. BYU Cougars versus Oklahoma State Cowboys. BYU is a 76.7% chance to win. Oklahoma State has a 23.3% chance to win. This is at Oklahoma State. So BYU is 16 nation, 17-4 record. Oklahoma State's unranked, 15-6 record. For stats, BYU has slightly more points per game. Oklahoma State has more points against. BYU has slightly more field goals per game and has more rebounds per game. Oklahoma State has slightly more assists per game. BYU has more blocks per game and has slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Oklahoma State will beat BYU tomorrow. Clemson Tigers versus Stanford Cardinal. So Clemson has a 74.6% chance to win, and Stanford's a 25.4% chance to win. This is at Stanford. So Clemson's 20 nation, 18-4 record. Stanford's unranked, 14-8 record. For stats, Clemson has slightly more points per game. Stanford has more points against. Clemson's a higher field goal percentage. Is more rebounds per game, assists per game. Stanford has slightly more blocks per game and has more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Stanford will beat Clemson tomorrow. College women's basketball. Maryland Terrapins versus Michigan State Spartans. Maryland has a 37.1% chance to win. Michigan State has a 62.8% chance to win. This is at Michigan State. So Maryland's 22 in the nation, 17-6 record. Michigan State's 12 in the nation, 19-3 record. For stats, Michigan State has more points per game, slightly more points against, higher field goal percentage. Maryland has more rebounds per game. Michigan State has more assists per game, slightly more blocks per game, and has more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Michigan State will beat Maryland tomorrow. NBA. Denver Nuggets versus New York Knicks. The Nuggets have a 42.5% chance to win, and the Knicks have a 57.5% chance to win. This is at New York. For injuries, for the Nuggets, Johnson, Gordon, and Bates are out, and for the Knicks, Hart, Diawara are game time decisions, and Robinson, McBride, and McCullough Jr. are out. For stats, Nuggets have more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Knicks have more rebounds per game. Nuggets have more assists per game. Knicks have slightly more blocks per game and have more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Knicks will beat the Nuggets tomorrow. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Toronto Raptors. The Wolves have a 51.7% chance to win. The Raptors have a 48.3% chance to win. This is at Toronto. For injuries, for the Wolves, Randall and Edwards are game time decisions, and Shannon Jr. is out. For the Raptors, Podol and Hepburn are out. For stats, the Wolves have more points per game, points against, slightly higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game. Raptors have more assists per game. Wolves have slightly more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Raptors will beat the Wolves tomorrow. Boston Celtics versus Houston Rockets. The Celtics have a 41.4% chance to win. The Rockets have a 58.6% chance to win. This is at Houston. For injuries, for the Celtics, Vucevic, uh, Boucher, and Tatum are out. And for the Rockets, Finney Smith and Van Vliet are out, and Durant and Adams Durant's a game time decision, and Adams is out for the season. For stats, the Celtics have slightly more points per game. The Rockets have slightly more points against. Field goal percentage is even. Rockets have more rebounds per game, assists per game, slightly more blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are very close, like very close. So I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Rockets will beat the Celtics tomorrow. Oklahoma City Thunder versus San Antonio Spurs. The Thunder have a 60.9% chance to win. The Spurs have a 39.1% chance to win. This is at San Antonio. For injuries, for the Thunder, Williams, Mitchell, and Topic are out, and Sorber is out for the season. For the Spurs, Sachin and Waters III are out, and Castle's a game time decision. For stats, the Thunder have more points per game. Spurs have more points against. Thunder have a higher field goal percentage. Spurs have more rebounds per game, slightly more assists per game. Thunder have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be big in here. So I think the Spurs will beat the Thunder tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.